Hello YouTube. This is a backstory on this compilation of goose clips, and I thought I would combine them all into one short video, but in order to make sense of it all, you need to know how this all came about. A few years back, a friend of mine was working on his motorcycle in his garage, and he hears this flap, flap, flap behind him, so he rolls over and looks, and here's this Canadian goose standing in the door of his garage, head tilting back and forth like, "I'm lonely, what you doing?" So he named this goose Jack, and turns out Jack had a girlfriend who was off down in the swamps, and she hatched a gosling that we named Jerry. So we had Jack and Jill and Jerry. And we fed Jack and Jill and Jerry and watched Jerry grow up into a full-blown goose. And the day they left, they actually took off, circled the pond, honking on the way, like as if to say goodbye, and they left. Then the following year, Jerry came back. And turns out Jerry had a girlfriend of his own, and she was down in the swamps, and she had 6 eggs. Well, those eggs hatched, and she ended up in the backyard of a house down there with a dog terrorizing them. So we opened the back gate, let the geese out, and that was in the evening of one day. And the next day we went back to find them because they hadn't shown up at the pond, and we found them halfway down the neighborhood, which was probably a quarter mile or better. So with him in the front in the car, and Jerry right behind the car, and then the 6 goslings following in single file, and then the mama behind them, and me walking behind them, we marched these 2 full-grown geese and their 6 goslings down the street through the neighborhood until we got to the pond. So Jerry, I think he said that he was going to name his girlfriend or wife, or whatever goose call them, mate, Josephine. So it was Jerry and Josephine and their 6 goslings, only one of which we named Gimpy because he had a hurt leg and limped for quite a bit for a while. As we were walking out of the neighborhood, Josephine also appeared to be limping, and she would stop occasionally, and everyone would get ahead of us, and I would say, "If you want, I'll pick you up and carry you," and she would flap her wings and catch up with the group. But we marched them all the way to the pond. So during this summer, when these goslings and 2 geese were hanging out at the pond and being raised, my friend had to leave the state to help out a family member with an emergency, and I kept going over day after day and feeding them corn, and occasionally I'd take some video clips. And in order to keep my friend apprised of what was going on, I posted all these video clips into a web page. I stored the actual clips on YouTube, but I created the web page with a narrative to explain what was going on from day to day, hence the Goose blog. Well, the web page is no longer gone, and all of the information that was contained in it is gone, which is basically this backstory that I'm telling you now, with a lot of details, day-to-day details left out, but you get the gist of it. So here's a compilation of all these video clips into one video that I'm going to put up on YouTube that shows 2 separate goose families and our interaction with them. The 3rd year, I think some of the 6 goslings, a couple of them, came back, but there was also another flock of geese, and the 2 flocks started fighting whenever we fed them, so we quit feeding them and kind of let the whole project die out. But this is 2 years of, and 2 separate families of Canadian geese and our interaction with them. I hope you enjoy it. We had a lot of fun, and kind of sad to see it end because I enjoyed watching those birds. They became quite tame, although we wanted them to stay as wild as possible because we didn't want them to get hurt. So thanks for watching, and talk to you later. Oh, Ruby says comment, subscribe, and share. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, Derry. Hey, Derry.
One is a lazy one. He gets in the middle of the food and lays down. Just stretches his neck out. There we go. There's Jerry and the kids. Out here in the rain, just being goose. Come over and immediately start checking the ground. Lazy. Mommy and Daddy. You get to where they run with their wings out now. They went over and they take hers. Or his. That's her over there. What's that? She's concerned about you taking the fish?
Yeah, she was hissing big time at me.
What are you doing? They make that noise and off they go.
Look, see how he's hissing at me?
Yeah.